Transfer hold-ups for Manchester United. Mason Greenwood decision today. Update on Yoro. Update on Matthijs de Ligt as well. And David Ornstein just reporting something as well regarding that situation and where Manchester United are actually at. Interesting read on that one. But yes, we are starting with, of course, the update on Mason Greenwood. That's where I want to get into first of all. Welcome along to the morning show, everybody. I'm Adam. This is Forever United TV. Make sure you give the video a like first of all because you're loving the early morning content. Nice, easy 500 likes, please. Let's get that done, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure that you also hit that subscribe button as well to make sure you all up to date with Manchester United content, news, updates, everything around the football club. I've got you covered completely. 8 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 6:30, unless there's breaking news, of course. I'm going to get into the breaking news that we brought up yesterday as well. So, yes, I know a lot of people are asking about Matthijs de Ligt. I will get into that as well. Get yourselves in the chat. Get your morning conversations going. This is your quickfire roundup. So you're set for your day. You're up to date on your way to work, your breakfast, whatever you're making, school run, in process, in the pouring down rain here in Manchester. I hope it's better where you are, but at least you'll know everything that's going on with Manchester United. Let's get straight into what is going on with United. We covered so much yesterday, of course. Thank you for tuning in, everybody, to all of the shows. There's a lot going on with Manchester United right now, and a lot of deals stemmed on a couple of issues that are happening with other deals. Mason Greenwood's situation at the moment is going to relinquish a little bit of pressure on Manchester United in terms of funds that can be released and funds that can be used in the market for other players. Manchester United have money invested in Matthijs de Ligt and Leny Yoro right now. Anything else cannot happen until we get conclusions on these deals. Mason Greenwood would definitely go a long way to helping Manchester United. It would be added to the funds that came in for Willy Cambuala, and obviously earlier on in the summer, the loan deal for Jadon Sancho and Alvaro Fernandez. United are making little moves here and there, but it's about time a big one came about, and we could be getting it today. We should be getting it today. According to Damasio, Manchester United's Mason Greenwood will be a Marseille player today. Now, yesterday we said that the deal was off. The ever-changing outlook of Manchester United's transfer window and the deals that are actually going on. What has been going on at Marseille? What has been said after the mayor came out and said his piece? Well, Marseille have just put, like Lazio did yesterday, like we reported, I've just put their cards on the table and said, look, we've got an agreement in place. It's very similar to United with Yoro, actually, in this situation. Funny how it's France and England, England and France in terms of the negotiations. Is this how it's going to go from now on? Bids in, accepted, and the player takes over a bleeding week to decide? I don't know. But the situation with Mason Greenwood is that Marseille fully expects a decision today. Otherwise, it's off the table completely. They have got other targets in mind. We talked about that yesterday. De Zerbi going back to Brighton to bring in a player from there instead of Mason Greenwood. But Manchester United, we're not completely confident that this is going to happen. Because like I said yesterday, Mason Greenwood doesn't give two flying F-bombs about Manchester United and what deal works best for them. At the moment, it's Marseille's for the football club. But we talked yesterday about Lazio's. They're waiting in the wings. I think one or two of the relationships between these clubs is going to be tarnished after this deal, depending on where Mason Greenwood goes. Let's put it that way. Because we heard about the president talking from Lazio about them being in contact continuously with Manchester United and hoping that they can make a deal. They've put a big deal on the table for them of 21 million with 50% sell-on. For Manchester United. That is a massive commitment for them, and they will be disappointed if he ends up going to Marseille. But Marseille have put more on the table. It's going to work out around about 27 million for Manchester United. That's the deal that the Reds are pushing. We said yesterday Mason Greenwood wasn't actually up for that deal. He was unsure after what was said from the mayor, saying going into his personal life and all of that. But right now we're hearing from Damasio. We're supposed to hear last night. So effectively, if this is the case, one way or another, today we'll hear about Marseille dropping out of the fight for Mason Greenwood, and then it being Lazio, Juventus and Napoli in the chase. More than likely Juventus, Lazio, Jesus, come on Adam, wake up. Or Marseille have signed Mason Greenwood. What's going on negotiation-wise behind the scenes? I don't think there's going to be any issue with wages and things like that as it is. It is just the circumstances of what's happened with Mason Greenwood in the dealings with what's happening with the Marseille mayor, or the comments that have come out. We know that Marseille want him. Their president's come out, they want him. De Zerbi, the manager at Marseille, wants Mason Greenwood. he will treat him like his own son. We've heard the quotes, we've heard what's been said. It was just thrown up in the air by the bleeding mayor saying what he said, and it's just put a bit of a delay on everything going on. And that is crucial for Manchester United in their dealings with everything else going on right now. Like there is more deals going on. I haven't got time to talk about them in the morning show this morning, but that'll be coming at 12 o'clock today in the other deals that have sort of been blocked out at the moment because of what's happening right now. Moving on to Leny Yoro. Again, we talked last night like this deal is off and done. Everyone's been laughing at me. I've had a few comments saying, are you that happy now? 1 minute, it's you're going to get him through the door. The next minute, it's not. Well, you can only talk about what's been reported and what comes out. And there is no official yes or no with Yoro. I'm leaning towards no right now, personally, because of what we said yesterday. I know this is being pushed from the Real Madrid side, and L'Equipe have done that interview that we spoke about yesterday, and all the Madrid accounts are the ones that have pushed out the Leny Yoro news from there. It is basically an update on what's happening. Romano has come out late last night again with his show and said that Leny Yoro, it is still down to him. The decision has not been made yet with Leny Yoro, and he is still pondering and thinking about what actually is the right move for him. Apparently, he wants more time. I said yesterday, look, that's it. Like, we need to move on. Everything else is stopping. Pre-season is underway. United have already started playing pre-season games. We need deals over the line. Personally, for me, I mean, you guys get your comments in, and please do get your comments in. Yesterday was mental, and I do apologise for not coming back to comments in the comment section. That's on me, guys. I'm sorry. I did say I was going to. It was that mad. Like, literally, I had about 5 or 6 shows to do yesterday after the carnage that was. I'm going to come on to that bit of news next in a minute. But when it comes to Leny Yoro, I mean, you guys tell me, do you just move on? If an 18-year-old that is wanted so badly by Real Madrid, there's clearly something there, wants a little bit more time to decide, do you go down that road? It's like saying, do we put another £5 million in just to back this? It could look like Manchester United are looking very, very stupid if we go down the road of giving Leny Yoro another week to decide on this. It's a chance because we want the player in, obviously. And if we give him another week, it may be the clincher that gets the deal over the line. Right now, for me, and this is where I'm going with David Ornstein next and linking with the Matthijs de Ligt story as well. But for me right now, I'm walking away from Yoro. It pains me to say it. It does. It could be clinched if you do give him a bit more time. But he's touched by Manchester United's approach. That for me is just like someone saying, look, yeah, thank you, but you're not my type. Do you know what I mean? That's how it just comes across that way to me. So I'm just like, if you want to come to United, you'd have been able to decide within a week. I'm sorry, this is professional football at the top level right now. You would have been able to make that decision in a week. It's time to move on. That's just my opinion on that situation. No one else's. You guys give me yours. Let me know what you think. I just think other deals now are being held up because of Manchester United having to wait around. I said it last night. We've got money invested in De Ligt. That's been taken. We've got money invested in Yoro. We can't walk away from that at this situation we're in right now. So there's no other money for Manchester United to make apart from the money that we bring in from player sales, which is why Greenwood's top of this list and why we need a decision today on him. Leny Yoro, that money's in and it's not a problem for United. We just need to know if we're going to have extra money from Yoro to spend elsewhere so we can move on to other targets. It's a complete minefield right now, but it just stems from 2 big decisions, a Mason Greenwood and a Leny Yoro. 2 players who have had bids accepted, either way, just need to make a decision personally, and that's it. We move on. Everybody gets to that next stage. The issue that Manchester United have got and the rest of football have got right now is, like we've said before, the player power and the player having the final decision. They're contracted in. There's nothing anyone can do about any situation. You can just try and make it look as good as possible for that player to try and convince them to move on. But Yoro and Greenwood, 2 young talents right now, are just completely halting and blocking up Manchester United's transfer activity. That's where we're at with everything going on with them 2. Leave Ineos to do the work. Don't assume negativity. That's a super chat. I think that's exactly what we are doing, but we're just reading and talking about the reports that are actually real out there right now. I'm going to move on to Matthijs de Ligt because a lot of people didn't think what I was saying yesterday was real. They thought it was fake news. I've been completely not completely. I've been told that this is not fake news. There's a couple of other accounts jumping on the Matthijs de Ligt story this morning, but what I wanted to talk about was what David Ornstein was saying about Matthijs de Ligt and Leny Yoro. In The Athletic, he's actually written that he's looking at the situation at Manchester United, and it'd be known that it's one or the other. That's the reality. That was probably the most likely outcome right now. It's Matthijs de Ligt or it's Leny Yoro. Now, that was a bit strange to me because obviously all reports are that United are in for both. And like I've just said, we are in for both. Bids are in for both players. In fact, both bids have been accepted for players. There is something going on behind the scene with Matthijs de Ligt and Bayern Munich. We know that. And when the full official announcement comes, we don't know. I think in terms of what we said yesterday with Nick Semeraro and him breaking that news and us going with that video, I think the best way you can look at it, everyone can say, look, oh yeah, anyone can say that Matthijs de Ligt is signing for United. I think it's common knowledge that whoever says it first is pretty safe in saying it because the deal's pretty much done. I think what you can look at and gauge it off is that he committed to the contract, he committed to the final agreement in instalments being the same as Xerxes, and he gave an exact wage. So if they all marry up, I think we know that he was right in what he said. If it is different, it's different. He was wrong. I don't think he'll try and ruin his early reputation in what he's doing by going all in and saying that Matthijs de Ligt is signing and he's not. There are a couple of other accounts coming out, but the one that's saying the same thing at the moment, but we'll see if his numbers add up, and then we'll know he was right in what he said yesterday. So that may come later on in the week, but I think that's how we'll gauge that one. Like I said, it's done, isn't it? We know it is. But the interesting bit is what David Ornstein said, like one or the other. I thought he was in for both. So really interested on that one. Have United come away? Are they just basically holding out on de Ligt right now in case Yoro signs? It adds all different elements to what's actually going on right now. Manchester United have agreements in place for so many players right now. Are they able to walk away from any of these deals as well, all of a sudden? It would be a bit strange if we did that. I'm still going down the road that United want 2 centre-backs in. I think we have to because we've let 2 go. And last season, with all of them that were in place, we were still struggling. So we definitely need 2 bleeding centre-backs at Manchester United. That's a definite. So, yeah, what Ornstein said is a little bit concerning and a little bit of a worry. But still, I think Manchester United, it all comes down to what we said at the top of the show with deals that need to be rectified with Mason Greenwood, deals that need to be sorted with Leny Yoro, 2 players holding it up. Do United even think about walking away from de Ligt? I can't see it from what Ornstein's saying. Like he says that they're putting more effort into Yoro right now, and it looks like it's one or the other. I mean, that's a weird one for me. I mean, you go read it yourself. It's there on The Athletic this morning, guys. But yes, also, McTominay's price has been set. We've heard about yesterday Galatasaray coming in. We talked about that on the morning show yesterday. Galatasaray in communications with Manchester United over Scott McTominay. It now looks like, going off reports in a few of the publications and a few other reports online as well, that it's 40 million for Scott McTominay or he's not going. That's Manchester United's price for Scott McTominay. That's the bid that's going to force United to move Scott McTominay on. Now, I don't know what you guys think about that. Get your comments in again and get your comments in below when the show finishes. But 40 million for Scott McTominay, steep? I don't know. It probably. Do you know what? After his season last season, what did he play? 42 games last season. Decent injury record. Premier League proven. Scored a shed load of goals last season. Good in defensive situations in the air. Good in attacking situations in the air as well. Eye for goal. Timing into the box. He carries a lot. So, really, I don't think 40 million is. 30 million has been turned down 3 times, apparently, from Manchester United for Scott McTominay. So, we know that we're not going to get anywhere near Scott. No one's going to get anywhere near Scott McTominay if they're bidding around 30 million. It has to be 40 million plus to get Scott McTominay over the line. That's the figure. That's the number. And unless it's met, it's not happening. Scott won't go anywhere. So, yeah. With that said, Manchester United are in a position where I think with Casemiro, we know that the Saudi is open today. Saudi Pro League transfer window opened yesterday, sorry. So I think United will hold off on Scott McTominay to see what happens with Casemiro. We can't get rid of both. Again, we spoke about that yesterday. I'm just reading up some other news right now. It's come back. Samuel Luckhurst has just put a tweet out saying some of the Manchester United players on holiday will want to come back rather than take the full 3 weeks off. Manchester United. That's good news as well. I'm guessing who them players are as well, straight away. Two of them being Indelo and Bruno Fernandes. So that's just a little update that's come up. Samuel Luckhurst has just put that. So a lot of Manchester United players looking to get back early from their breaks and their holidays to try and get back into pre-season training. This is all good news for Manchester United. I like it. It's a big positive this morning for that. Everyone on board, and obviously we've seen yesterday in Manchester United's performance against Rosenborg that we are miles off it, expectedly. Well, I just look at it and I'll gauge it against other teams' pre-season first games, because Manchester United obviously finished on the 1st of June, FA Cup final. Rashford looked a mess yesterday. He looked well unfit. Mason Greenwood looked off it. Casemiro probably stand out for me, and Johnny Evans, obviously the keeper, Vitek as well. But interesting to see how other teams actually fare in their first games, because United were a million miles away from where we need to be ready for the season. And you know what? It's the first game, first pre-season game. I'm not bothered. I just hope that we are going to be ready for the season, the start of the season against Fulham in about a month's time. Exactly a month's time, actually, today. So, yeah, let's look at that and say that's where we need to be. That's what we need to be ready for. I'm not particularly bothered about the first game when you're chopping and changing. Second game, even against Rangers, a little bit more fitness. Still not too bothered about what we're doing or how we're performing there. I think when we get into the tour and we start playing the Arsenals and the Liverpools of the world and the Betis game, then we're going to need to know where Man United are at and are we ready. But that's great news coming out from Samuel Luckhurst about players wanting to come back early from their 3-week break. Xerxes probably one of them as well, I'm guessing. I think Xerxes, Dalot, Bruno. Bruno definitely won't want to come back any later. He'll want to be right back in the action. Man United held numerous rounds of talks with Bayern Munich as they try to finalise deal for Matthijs de Ligt. Florian Plettenberg came out yesterday and said there's been no communication with United and Bayern Munich. Everyone else is saying there's been loads of communication with United and Bayern Munich. There's cross wires at the moment. I think everyone's trying to take their piece of the pie and everyone's trying to get to this decision beforehand. The current expectation is that Manchester United would recruit one of Leny Yoro and Matthijs de Ligt as opposed to both, given the de Ligt looks relatively straightforward if United choose to proceed at present. They seem to be prioritising Yoro and exploring more. See, all of the other Manchester United accounts are jumping onto what I said about David Ornstein now, that it's one or the other. Matthijs de Ligt is agreed. We know this. But if it is one or the other now, Manchester United have changed transfer tactics and they're putting their efforts into Yoro. Is that why we're not going to get an announcement on de Ligt? Honestly, I don't know. David Ornstein's article has threw a spanner in the works this morning. A lot of people are jumping onto it now. So I don't know what is going on or why this has changed. If it has changed, the coming days will tell us more, I think. But yeah, Matthijs de Ligt to Manchester United is agreed. But all of a sudden, Ornstein talking about it being one of Yoro or de Ligt. Can we walk away? I don't know. But guys, that is your early morning update. I'll have more information and more news coming at 12 o'clock today. My other stories about other deals being blocked as well. I want to talk about that, so make sure you're tuned in for that as well. Subscribe to Forever United TV, guys. Make sure you don't miss anything. I've got you covered on all of the breaking news coming out of the football club. We're live at 12. We're live at 6:30. Make sure you give the video a like, guys. I want 500 on this video. Cheers, everybody, for joining us this morning. Thank you very much. I will see you all at lunchtime with the updates on everything that's going on. And yeah, thanks again. I will be back. Whew, here we go. Another day in the transfer window with Manchester United. Have a good one, people.